All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the flow. Don't really have this thing orchestrated. This a certain, you know how you just outline how your video gonna go. This is not one of them. I'm just gonna let you know that heads up. This is not one of those videos. Um, I'm just come to share with some things that I discovered and some things that are piquing my interest, and you may like it. If you don't, keep it clapping. If you do, please hit the subscribe, like, channel, share. All right, cool. Now we got all that out the way. So I was studying the book of Israel, right? Studying the book of Israel. And so we come across chapter 2. And I say, you know what? It is so interesting how every time I see videos related to the chronicles of people's names, of their, the genealogy, the consensus, the family consensus, a lot of people are like, oh man, that's the most boringest part of the Bible. And for most people, it's boring. It is. And I'm not going to say, there is a sin to be honest about being bored by certain things in the text. However, what I will say is that it's due to a lack of knowledge that most people are bored by those passages inside that text, that particular passages of the text. They're bored because they have a lack of knowledge. Inside those names, there's several codes. I'll give you an example. There's one group of codes that I have seen that other people have discovered. And that's in the beginning of Genesis, when it talks about the lineage of Seth, all the way during those time, the days of Adam, the generations of Adam, right? People decoded those names, the Hebrews names, and they seen that those names talked about a savior. It turned into a paragraph, and it mentions about how a savior would come and liberate and things of that nature, right? But what if I told you that every group of names in the Bible does that? What if I told you that every group of name, when you see those consensus, those genealogies, there's actual deeper messages behind them? What if I told you that? What if I can actually show you that? How would you feel about those chronologies then? So I got that for a particular passage. You probably see that EZR up there. That's short for Ezra. So Ezra chapter 2 is one of those examples. So I was reading chapter 1. So we're going to go with the book of Ezra. I was studying with somebody. We're going to go to the book of Ezra. And I get to chapter 2. I said, oh, wow, came across one of those chronologies. I said, I never actually looked at these. Let me go ahead and decode those, see what these names say. And I was just baffled. Like, the Father never ceases to amaze me. Like, I never get ceased amazed by the Father. It's just amazing. And these names actually were coded, and the codes were relevant to the situation, though. That's what makes it so fascinating. So let me tell you a little bit about Israel. So the book of Israel starts off like this. You got King Cyrus, who is a Gentile, who says that Yahweh is the only true God, the King of heaven, and he's you guys, meaning the Israelites, who are my captives, I, Cyrus. It has been told by your God, who is the God of the heavens, to let you free. He's given me the judgment to let you loose and to go and build him a land. Yeah, like that's what chapter 1 consists of. We'll give you resources, give you this, give you that. You got to go do your job. Do you know that opening statement of chapter 1? Let me rephrase it. Hold on. Do you know that the names in chapter 2 express the opening statement of chapter 1? No. I'm going to say this one more time. Do you understand? Oh, of course you don't understand because you ain't checked it out yet. Hold on, wait. Do you know that the names of the Israelites in chapter 2, they speak and express, they represent, they mean in Hebrew what the statement of chapter 1 says? So the statement says that King Cyrus has been given the judgment to let you guys loose, to go on a journey and to build a place. All their names actually express that. Come on, man. You think that's by chance? I be telling people, not only the names are important, how many people that are in each house is significant. There's codes. The numbers mean something. The fact that it was 10,285 in Paru's home, and then it was 120,000 over here, and it was 500 there. All those numbers mean something. Trust me, all those numbers mean something. And it means a lot of somethings too. Because as you know, there's several different branches of mathematics. Several different branches. And then crazy part, you know, so what's crazy? Fractions is a branch of mathematics. Then they got, but guess what? Multiplying, you can't, the way you multiply a fraction is not the same way that you add a fraction. There's different rules, even within fractions. Multiplying fractions is not the same as how you add fractions. And I'm talking about the rule of the process of doing it. Not, of course, the mode of operation. It's obvious that there's one basic rule that sets them different. There are two different modes of operation. But even with each mode of operation, there's other rules that come with handling the fraction. Oh my goodness. Are you even catching me? I mean, this may be too deep. There's so many different modes that these numbers represent. There's so many different expressions and symbolisms that each of these numbers represent, that if you apply each mode of operation when it comes to mathematics, you'll get something more deeper inside this. So if you connect the name, the denominator, which is the denominator, if you connect the name to the number of people who are attached to that name, and then you start to put it in a different mode of operation, you're going to get a deeper revelation. I wasn't going to give you all of that, but I'm like, dang, my pocket is just busting out with jewels. I got to break bread. So, boom. All right, so now I'm going to get you some examples. So we're going to go to verse 3. That's in chapter 2. We're in Israel, don't forget. The name Parush, right? It comes from flee, right? And it comes from the word para, which means to loose, to absolve, to dismiss. Boom. So then we go to the next one, right? We're going to go to Shaphat, verse 4. We're going down to his name, which means to judge, to govern, to litigate. Boom. So then we're going to go to verse 5. Boom. Remember when Israel chapter 2, verse 5, it says wayfaring, to set forth on a journey, to go forth in a... Do I need to keep reading? Just with the 3 names alone that we are, from verse 3 down to verse 5. 3, verse 4, verse 5, we got 3 names. These 3 names are already giving you the basis of what chapter 1 was about. Cyrus was given Shaphat, which is verse 4, which means to judge. He was given the judgment. To Parush, which is verse 3, which means to dissolve, to set free. It means to dissolve. That means I'm going to dissolve these chains. That means to loosen. I'm going to loosen you from this stronghold. That means to what? To absolve. I'm going to absolve the iniquity that is set against you. I'm going to absolve all cases and crimes against you, because I have been given the judgment to what? Loosen. Parush, last one, it means to loosen. Because what? Jesus, what? Is Shaphat, which is to litigate. He's litigating. He's the intercessor in heaven. So that you can do what? We can go on Ara, which is a journey. A journey. To do what? A journey to Jerusalem. See, I ain't going to even go through the rest of the list here. I'm not going to go through the rest of the chapter. I'm not. Because there's something else that happens in verse 6 that takes this thing on a whole nother twist. Now, if y'all liked this so far, again, I need you to like and subscribe. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Most importantly, subscribe and share. Subscribe so we can get the views up. I get more exposure, and share because people need to get this. So the same reason I need to get this exposed, right? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You about to see that here. So, boom. Now we at verse 6. We get to a wild name. This is a wild situation. We're in a real wild situation. This is a wild one. Boom. So it says Pak Moab. That's his name. I'm like, Pak Moab. It just sounds wild. You know, all these names may sound strange to y'all, but I've been familiar with Hebrew. So for me, it just sounds like really strange for be a Hebrew name. You know, you think all these names strange. Imagine this being a Hebrew name. So it means Pak Moav. So Pak Moav, I'm like, wait a second, I know this not mean what I think it means, because obviously I hear Moav in there, but I'm like, Pak, that sounds familiar, right? Like Tupac, you don't even know Tupac name actually comes from, but that's another time. Swahili's associated with, but you know, that's another time. So boom, so now we get the Pak Moav, right? So it means the pit of Moab. I said, wait a second, because you know I'm up there now, my antennas are raised. I got a strong signal now because you know we've been dealing with this information esoterically. You see how I broke down this video in the first 10 minutes, right? So you know I'm on that wave right now, what kind of wave I'm on. So now when I hear this, I'm looking at it from that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about of. When we use the word of, we're dealing with aspect. And the word in the etymology of the aspect means to look at. So we're not dealing actually with the knowledge, we're looking at a particular knowledge. So that means that we need to go into history. That means, in other words, this passage is not specifically talking about the history, it's just mentioning the history and then from a particular aspect. So in order to get more understanding, I have to go to a source that gives me more information, that has more extensive data about the subject matter. So guess what I do? I pull out my sword on my app. It is a free app that you should download. It allows you to use this tool in it where you can type any word in all of the times which it was used and where it was used points up, right on the database. It's a good index database system. You should try it. So I type in Moab and it shows me like, whoa, in the Old Testament it's been used over 163 times and 150 something scriptures. So I'm looking at Moab. I said, the first thing I wanted to look at is Lot. So before I went into the scriptures, I'm like, what is the association with Moab and Lot? Because that's the first thing I thought about. Because remember, his daughters was even mentioned. That's another highlight. So I was like, wait a second. Moab was a child of incest. Remember, the Israelites, the code is saying that the Israelites are in the pit of Moab. They're in the pit of Moab. I want you to understand that they're in the pit of Moab. Cool. The first mentioning of Moab is when Moab was born by way of incest. By way of incest. What kind of nasty situation was Lot in? Now, some of y'all who may not know the Bible, you might say, Dad, Lot's nasty like that? Nah, this is nasty. Who's Lot? So Lot is the nephew of Abraham. Abraham saved Lot from Sodom and Gomorrah. Why did God want to save Lot out of all the people? Because God considered him to be righteous. So we ain't about to, I want to put some respect on Lot's name, okay? Lot did not like the blasphemy, the abominable, and all the garbage and demon times these people was on. It says his soul was tormented day and night. In 2 Peter, it says his soul was tormented day and night for the things that he's seen and the things that he heard. But I got some things on Lot, but we gonna talk about that. You know, like Lot, I wouldn't have gave my daughters up to get raped and gang raped. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I was not giving nobody up to get gang raped. If anything, you should have gave your own ass up. Just take me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to. I'm just gonna let you know that. Just throw that out there. You know. So you know what I mean? So, but hey, yeah. And if you don't know the story, I can tell you a little bit more. You know, I know, sidebar. The group of ass bandits come to his door and say, hey, they thought these angels were just men. So they knock on the door and say, yo, we want those men that came up in there. They came in there like Birdman, you know what I'm saying? I just got through somebody, you know, I just funny, the bird right here, and I say Birdman. You know, we ain't, you know. And then so, you know, hey, look, man, I roll with boys too. We lock boys too. We see some new boys on the block, and you will have to come out and get them boys to us. So that's how the boys came, right? And then they came quite aggressively. They came quite aggressive to the point was like, we about to bang down his door. It's like it's an army of us as bandits. There's an army of us predators standing right here. You're going to give us these men. So instead of them actually surrendering the men, Lot was like, look, just take my 2 daughters. They never slept with anybody. I'm like, come on, man. What type of times are you on? That's what I'm saying. So we're going to fast forward from that. But he was still considered righteous man. You know, righteous men, they still make they still got their errors, right? So boom. I just want to throw that out there because this may help you with a lot of what we're dealing with. Remember, I'm doing my investigation about Moab. This Moab is a product of Lot. This is why all of Lot's character is important. The character of the father says a lot about the children. You understand me? And how the children came into the world. So we get all of this, right? We get all of the roots involved. So we can understand the dynamics of the fruit that we're dealing with. So boom, now he's been rescued, blah, blah, blah. Now the city has to burn. Now I gotta tell you about the wife. You know what I'm saying? Because the wife is what helped produce the 2 children who end up having incest with their father. So their child was also their sibling. So now you got to understand the dynamics, the psychotic dynamics that Moab is in. Moab mom is also his sister. You see what I'm saying? Moab mom is also his sister. That's how sick the incest, you know what I'm saying? So boom. You got to understand that. So there's 4 children. So Lot actually has 4 children. You see what I'm saying? His 2 daughters who ends up getting them pregnant, and then the 2 sons that his 2 daughters have by him. Boom. All right. So now the mom, now you're wondering what kind of mom, you know what I'm saying, produced these children. So this mom had an understanding of that these were angels. This mom was the same mom who watched these angels just turn all these people blind. This mom was the same mom who was given the instruction by the angels, don't look back. We're about to destroy this city. If you look back, you're gonna have a problem. You're not gonna make it. Like, they warned her. She still looks back and she turns into a pillar of salt. That's how rebellious. So that's rebellion. That's disobedience. That's rebellion. Why are you looking back at a city that was trying to rape your children? That was trying to rape you know what I'm saying? They really liked her husband. They probably preferred her husband over her. You see what I'm saying? They try to rape the men that was there. These wicked, twisted, because there's something that you attach to your heart. You probably was the only reason why they were safe in the house. You know what I'm saying? You probably was swinging. I'm just saying. Just think about it. Let's put things in proper context. Like, when you in the hood, you in the ghetto, like only certain places somebody in the house gotta be the reason why you're getting along in order for you not to have no problems in the house. That's what I'm saying. So, boom. Now we get to this mountain, in the cave, boom, 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 bam, 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 bam. They up in the cave. They girls conclude, the oldest daughter was like, look, we are the only ones up here. You know, everyone else died. We're the last one standing. I am a legend type of situation, right? That's the picture she trying to paint to her sister to justify what she concluded they should do. So she's like, yeah, you know, and we got to preserve our dad's lineage. Made it sound so honorable. Yeah, so what we're going to do is, we're going to get him some wine, and I'm going to sleep with him, and then you're going to do the same thing. Like, first and foremost, you just try to make it seem like it was an apocalypse. If it was that bad, how the hell did you get wine? Where did you get wine in the middle of a cave? Like, yo, where did you get the resources to get some wine? Like, hold on, wait a second. Y'all just left a whole entire city that was... Where did you get wine? Was you so desperate that you brought some wine with you? Or did you find some wine from some near people and you try to make it seem like to your sister that y'all the only last people on earth? When the scripture, before she made pause, so some people don't know this story. So before they made the trip to go and live on a cave, remember why they was in a cave in the first place? Because Lot felt that it was unsafe to go to the nearby city. So y'all wasn't actually the only people around. Don't try to make it seem like y'all was in some apocalyptic situation. Now, all this is important. It's another sidebar. Some people, sometimes you be in a situation where some people try to make it seem like, based upon the little bit of media and news information that you have around you, that you're in an apocalyptic situation and come and do this strange thing with me so that we can survive. So let's talk about their strange situation. Because remember, history repeats itself. All this stuff is happening today. It's the same people, or if not, it's the same, it's and or the people of that lineage. Without knowing your history, you'll repeat it. Boom. So now, she said, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get daddy drunk. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to toot that thing, and I'm going to let daddy, and then we're going to hold some children for our father. Keep his lineage. See how she tried to justify it? She tried to say, you know, we're doing this to keep our father's name in existence, right? Boom. So she did it. And then her sister did it the next night. Dad must have some, back then niggas, you know what I'm saying, they must have some strong, you know what I mean, because they getting pregnant off the first hits. That's crazy. I'm just saying. So, boom. That's how you know this stuff was predestined. It was orchestrated on up there in the intergalactic realm and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna make it seem like it was all the good team that was orchestrating this, but it was orchestrated, right? So they got a lot to do with the sales. So, boom. All right, so now we there. We in that situation, right? Something just came to me. I can't declassify that yet, though. But boom. So look. So now we there. Boy, excuse me. Y'all give me one moment because this stuff is so deep. It's deeper than what you know. Okay, boom. So this is what I want to point out. Now I want to highlight something to you. What they did was this is witchcraft. This is the root of witchcraft. It wasn't a spell itself, but the act was based upon the principle of making spells, which is manipulation by way of rebellion. You see what I'm saying? They rebelled against God's law and order of doing things, right? Because it's not, one, it's supposed to be consensual. They got no consent from their father. They bewitched their father. They used liquor. They used liquor to manipulate their father into having sex with them. That is the very principle and law in which the arts of witchcraft is based on. Arts of witchcraft is based upon manipulating, using these arts to get and to gain favor or get what they seek. That's what they did. So they used chemicals. They intoxicated their father to manipulate their father into doing things for their favor. Because if it was really about the father, why would you need to put liquor into your father's system in order to do something for him? If you was really doing it for him, won't you just have the conversation? You'd be able to persuade him because it's something that he wants. You don't have to get someone intoxicated to get them to do something that they want. You see what I'm saying? Like, make sense of that. So they manipulated their father. You know what I'm saying? That's what they did. That's the art. So you see in the early scriptures, the arts of witchcraft being performed. Boom. So it don't stop there. So then I'm like, oh, whoa. Let me see how deep this rabbit hole goes, right? So now I go into my app. Remember the app we was talking about? eSword on your laptop. You should get it. My Sword on your phone. You should download it. And one of the greatest tools it got is you're able to type a word in and it'll show you all the times the word is used. So that's what I did with Moab. I said, let's do some investigation. Let me do my homework on these boys. Let me see what these boys are really up to. So I did that. So guess what? I get my report back. They give me the report. I want the report. I'm like, Matter of fact, so you know what? Hold on, wait a second. Hold on, I got it. Definitely gotta make it. You definitely gotta, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, straight up, like this, you gotta wait. Make sure you seen this right because this is some stuff to see. This is some stuff to investigate right here. Like, so I started looking at all these situations. So I'm looking at this Moab situation. I'm like, man, Moab, you got a track record with you, my guy. I'm like, whoa, Mo, you've been running like a track star. Moab got a track record with him, man. This is a certified track star. Your boy is a certified track star. He's gonna run when it get hard. Yeah, buddy. A lot of things was getting hard around here that wasn't supposed to be getting hard around here. People been in a lot of hard times where things was supposed to be so hard. You know what I'm saying? And I mean that in every way. So, let's talk about some of it. Let's talk about it. So now we see in Numbers chapter 25, speaking of things getting hard, we see in Numbers chapter 25 verse 1, these Israelites were sleeping with these Moabites. Where they do that at? Now here's the problem that comes in with sleeping with Moabites and you're an Israelite. Because this is Numbers chapter 25. What we have known by reading chapter 22 and chapter 23, the Moabites considered the Israelites to be ops. Now hold up. I know you probably thinking what I'm thinking. And if you're not thinking what I'm thinking, you don't even know what I know, or you just ain't thinking. How you, children of Lot, who was the nephew of Abraham, which is the father of the faith of the Israelites, got a problem with the Israelites when y'all supposed to have the same father. Y'all cousins. I'm throwing off. You like cousins, grand, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all y'all granddaddy, grandfathered in. I don't understand. Make sense of that. So I'm like, whoa, like I don't understand that. I'm baffled. So for people who don't know, in Numbers chapter 22, 23, you know, these Hebrew slaves, you know, Harriet Tubman and them, you know, Moses and them, they all going through the wilderness. We gotta get out. We out of here. We about to make it to the front line. Right? They on them times, right? And then so now they traveling and they trying to get some water and get some food and chill at a resort. You know what I'm saying? As they get into the land filled with milk and honey, and then the Midianites and them get the calls, so they, you know what I'm saying? They pictures in the sky. They're like, yo, damn, that's them people go again, daddy. They go them people that God be showing favor to again. They go them people. They go our cousins and them. Your daddy ain't been showing favor like that. You know, everybody jealous like this. This is the kids that daddy. Look at these ugly ass short people. Like, you know, remember, the Israelites compared to everybody else was the ugliest, was the smallest, and they was the newest on the scene. I'm giving y'all history y'all may not know, so you can see it. I'm helping y'all to know who you are, because I may be talking to a Moabite, I may be talking to an Ishmaelite, it may be an Israelite watching this video, but a lot of y'all don't know y'all roots. I'm about to wake y'all up. So boom, I'm like, daddy, your daddy be showing favor. They go to people that get favored again. You know, say like, hold on, wait. I don't like that. They ain't my cousins. I don't like them niggas at all. Where that nigga Beliam at, man? Where that little wizard at? Get that little lizard. Get that wizard/lizard over here, man. Tell him, come here, man. We gotta do something. Matter of fact, hey, where the Midianites at? Look, man, look. We about to call him up. How much he be charging again? We ain't gonna have to drop, we gonna have to drop latch on that Cadillac. I ain't gonna lie, we had to drop the latch off that Cadillac because them boys is not coming around here with that caravan. We gonna flip the top and spin the bin on that caravan right about now. How much he said? How much he did something on? I remember, oh yeah, you know he did the last job. He was working for them boys in Africa. Yeah, he was working for them boys. He was working for them boys in Black and Gold. Yeah, you're right, he was. Call that boy up. We gonna go ahead and call him up. Tell him we gonna need him to do a purple team move and boom. So pull him up, be like, yeah, man, all right, let me find out. Yeah, I hear y'all say you got 25, you got 25. Hold on, let me go tap in real quick. So he went to go tap in. And Father God was like, nah, that can't happen. You know, because Father God, light and darkness is the same to him. So he got children on the left and the right. That's why you don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. You know what I'm saying? So he was like a left side, you know what I'm saying, type of individual. So Father God already told him what it was. He's like, yo, nah, you can't do that. Like, we ain't doing all that. Yeah. They them. So Jacob, that's him. They're like, oh, okay, all right. I say, cool. So he gonna let the people know I can't touch that. I ain't gonna lie, we can't touch them. They got that woo on them. They got that woo. Can't touch them. They got that woo. They got what? Woo. What? We don't understand none of that, man. But we be back though. No, you play. We'll be back. So they come back. So man, look, they was really talking about hitting him. Like, look, man, we're gonna throw you off this cliff, but they know who he is and who he is. He in the house. He part of the same house. So they can't do him as dirty. Plus he got too much of allegiance. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what he know. They don't want that smoke because of the gods that they serve. He up there when it comes to the gods. So that's the reason why they ain't touch Balaam. We're like, why don't we just jack him up, rearrange? Why ain't just do him like that, right? And put that person like, Nick, you gonna put the pistol to him and everything? They can't do him like that because when it comes to where they from, on that side, he got more rank than them. You see what I'm saying? He got more rank. So all they could do is try to persuade him. You know what I'm saying? We're offering him resources. So what they did the next time, they brought royal men. So they had niggas pulling up in Lambos real quick, Ferraris, really some red Ferraris. They're pulling up some red Ferraris. You know, they had the Egyptian chains on them, you know what I'm saying? Yo, man, what's up? Everybody got their medallions swinging. You know what I'm saying? Come spin the bin with us real quick. You know what I mean? All right. Yeah, man, look. We know what you said last time, but look, man, this is the situation, man. You know, So everybody looking all freshed out, you know, trying to really entice him. And he really liking it. He like, damn, man, like this, all this for me. I know, you know, he really feeling himself. And he like when they trying to offer him. They trying to offer him more. They're like, look, man, you gonna be cool with us. We gonna give you this plus gifts and all kinds of other things. You know what I'm saying? So he like, dang, and other things? So boom. So he like, all right, hold on. So he like, let me go talk to big man upstairs again. Let me go upstairs real quick, talk to big man on campus. Boom. So he get up. Yo, Big G. Can we go, you know what I mean? I told you. No, you might be drunk down there. That's out. You know, when it comes to Big G, you know, every time it's less words, less. Ain't really in the pit itself, so it's less. So it's less words the second time. Look, man, I already told you what it is, man. Can't do that. Y'all can't do that. Can't touch them people. Can't touch them. So he's like, all right. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, you tripping, cuz. You tripping, man. You really tripping, huh? So they boom, pull off. So they go to the kings and the Midianites and the Moabites, like, look, man, I don't know. Like, y'all sure y'all ain't got no one? Like, I mean, we might have to go the long way. Like, nah, man, we beefing with such and such and them right now. We beefing with them over there right now, and we beefing with them over there. Like, we ain't got time for all that. We can't go and get nobody else. He all we got. So we got to come out with him a different offer. So they bring the king himself this time. So now they got the big homie. Like, look, the big homie gonna have to pop up. So now they coming with the big homie. So now he feeling really scared. Like, oh man, these niggas might try me. Like, they might not be scared of it. You know what I'm saying? I might be on the sacrifice list. I don't know who they talk, because it's how cutthroat they false gods is. Like, he don't even feel the protection of his God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, all right, so you go pause like, wait a second, I thought you was talking to Big G. Like, so this is how it worked with them over there. It's just like with Santeria, right? With Santeria, they believe in the Most High God, but because they don't got a relationship with the Most High God, they think that there's other gods besides the Most High God. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it is. So they be confused that sometimes who they be hearing from. You see what I'm saying? That's how it go. That's how it is over, you know what I mean? So boom. So now, he go up there and asks again. So this time, he here, go ahead. Oh yeah, I go. He gave me a green light. Look, dog, let's do this thing. He came back excited. He came back on demon times like, yo, yeah, Let's do this, man. Look, he gave me the green light. So this the play. This what we're gonna do. Da da da, woody woody wop. I'm gonna hit you. Matter of fact, look, y'all ain't even gotta take me. Let me go ahead and get set up. I gotta get dressed, freshed up, put my garment, put my priest garment on, get my beads, get all my stuff, get my woo, you know what I'm saying? Set everything up, get my caravan. Look, this is gonna be so fish. Y'all don't even look. Take that stuff with y'all. I'll come and get that once the job is done, man. I got y'all, man. Come, I'm pulling up. Boom. So, get all ready, right? Now he on his little caravan in the street. No traffic. No traffic. This is how you know it's God. Ain't no traffic. All of a sudden, the car playing stupid. Ain't no water. His car skiing like you on ice. Ain't no water out there. It's a donkey, by the way, in the scripture. But, you know, I'm putting in contemporary times for y'all. Like, like, man, what the... Man, this car playing. Get out of this car. Start kicking the car and everything. He about to pull his... He about to cock the pistol and blow the car on purpose because the car acting stupid. So Balaam starts spanking the donkey. Bam, bam, bam. Donkey like... The donkey feeling all kinds of abuse. So God opened up the mouth of the donkey. And then the donkey looked up it said, Balaam. I'm like, what? He's like, I've been your servant this whole time. Have I ever disobeyed you? He said, no, but you're doing this, I'm ready to kill you. And he says, I've been your servant this whole time. I've been your faithful servant. Have I ever disobeyed you? He said, no. So then God opened up his eyes, opened up Balaam's eyes. After he opened up the mouth of the donkey, he opened up the eyes of Balaam. And Balaam seen this mighty warrior standing with that carbon on him, about to let your boy loose. The whole time, the donkey was trying to save Balaam. Because had the donkey would have kept going forward, your man would have been Swiss cheese. Easy. 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 Right? So, that's where I'm going to leave that part of the story. Right? So, these are the people. All this happened in chapter 22 and chapter 23, by the way. Let's not forget that. And later on, you niggas want to go sleep with them? This is the same people that try to send that man. I didn't even tell you the hit. This is the same people that try to send that man to y'all. And you want to go sleep with them? In chapter 25? It don't even stop right there, man. It don't even stop right there. Listen, man. Listen. These people, man, look. So now, in Judges, these people begin to serve the gods of the Moabites. Judges chapter 10, verse 6. In chapter 3, verse 12, God sends the Eglon, the king of the Moabites, to put pressure on these people. It says in 2 Samuel 23, verse 20, that these were lion like men, the Moabites, lions like lions. They were like lions, the Moabites. It says in 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 9, they were sold into the Moabites. And we also know, according to 2 Kings, verse 3 and 4, verse 3 and 4 of chapter 3, that Solomon built the temples of the Moabites' gods because of his wives. Some of them were Moabites. So I see a whole bunch of association of witchcraft and rebellion and hate of the Israelites for from the Moabites. So the Israelites were in love with a people that hated them, and I hear that too. I see several scriptures where they married the Moabite women after the Moabite sent a wizard to curse them. And then even Solomon married the man with all the wisdom in the world, huh? Oh, nobody married a Moabite. And then the man who got his wisdom from God built another temple of another god. Come on, man, make sense of this. Make sense of this. So now this takes us back. Remember why we're here. Remember why we are here at this moment. We're here at this moment because in chapter 2, verse 3, chapter 2, verse 6, says that they're in the pit of Moab, according to the code, according to the name. They're in the pit of Moab. Now, the word for pit is the same word for mouth. Same word for jaw. The word for jaw comes from the word for mouth, which is pay. Right? They're in a pit. And inside the mouth, by way of the jaw, we eat fruit. By the power of the jaw, we eat the fruit. They're reaping the fruit of witchcraft. That's why they're stuck in a pit. When someone says the pit of, that expression is it's a demise. It's a consequence, a negative consequence for some actions. So it's not said we're in the glory of Moab, we're in the peaks, the pinnacles, even the hills of Moab. Because even the hills, when it's talking about evil, is still considered to be glorious, infamous, because it's a time of prosperity. Even though it's through unrighteousness, even though they're prospering unrighteously, they're in the hills. But when you're in the pits, whether you're in the pits for a righteous reason or an unrighteous reason, you're in the pits. So the pits of Moab, that's where the people found themselves at. Why? It's because they found themselves time and after time. They found themselves unequally yoked with people and souls that God said to stay away from. See, this run deeper than them, man. It's bigger than them, man. It's bigger than the Moabites. But the Moabites got to be example. You know why? It's because everybody want to talk about the Edomites, but it's bigger than the Edomites. Everybody keep talking about Esau versus Jacob. Jacob and Esau, a complex thus Israel and the Edomites. The Edomites this, the Edomites that, the Edomites this, the Edomites that. And then everybody be talking like they know what the Edomites look like. The Edomites is the white people. The Edomites the red hair, the red bone and hairy people. Where do you get your conclusions from? Right? Number two. What I see more conflict with Moabites in the scriptures than I see with the Edomites. One thing I want to point out, not a goddamn time did I see God say that y'all was enslaved to the Edomites. So that's why I say you gotta be careful who you listen to. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Why don't y'all verify some of the stuff that y'all be hearing? Because y'all be at conflict with yourself. Listen to anybody. Niggas be agents and ops. They don't got no anthropological work. We got plenty of ancestors and forefathers still around doing their job. Y'all don't go verify with them. Y'all don't verify with the scriptures. Make sense of this. Make sense. Where do you see the Edomites constantly bringing them into captivity? I don't care about battles and being at war. Because the idea is this. They said, this is what people keep saying. In order for us to rule, the Edomites got to fall. In order for us to fall, that means the Edomites are ruling. Whenever the Israelites are down, the Edomites are up. Whenever the Edomites are up, the Israelites are down. Where do you get that? Where do you get that principle at? If the principle is true, let it be true, because God is of truth. That means it comes from God. Let every man be a lie and God be true. And only those who follow God. Glory be to the Most High. Right? Respect the order. Cool, fine, and dandy. But where do you get that law from? Because the last time I checked, God kept sending y'all into captivity to Moabites. And then sometimes y'all put yourself willingly under the authority of the Moabites. The last time I checked, the Moabites was checking for y'all. All the time. You see what I'm saying? The last time I checked, the Moabites was trying to speak witchcraft over y'all. And y'all was cool with it. The last time I checked, it was the Moabites which messed up the whole dynasty that put us in the situation that we are in today. Thanks to Solomon thought ass wanting to go marry some Moabites and making it an abomination. All of the sons wanted to do the same thing and serve false gods. Santeria is so old. Y'all sold the family into witchcraft by way of the Moabite women, not the Edomites. Why are people more upset with them? I'd rather be upset with the cousin that tried to do witchcraft and successfully did witchcraft over the family than a cousin that had a legitimate beef because of what his father and his uncle was going through. Makes sense to that, Holmes. That beef between Jacob and Edom is about what? There's actual beef. But how do you justify the Moabites doing what they did to the Israelites when there was never any altercation between them? There was never a miscommunication. There was never a conflict between the Moabites and the Israelites. There was never an issue between Abraham and Lot. Abraham saved Lot from the Sodomites. It ain't our fault that your mother is also your sister. That didn't happen. Your daddy ain't our daddy. You should have a problem with your brother or something. The Ammonites. How do the Moabites got a problem with the Israelites? And they're using witchcraft to spell you under. Makes sense of that. Why is everybody focused on the Edomites and not mentioning the Moabites? When every time I look around, God says, I'm going to put you in captivity to them. Because they take this one scripture and they run with it like rabbits, and they go nowhere. They're not even going down the hole. They're going nowhere. They just rabbits doing cartwheels in a green ass zone in the grass. Just in the green ass grass doing nothing. Jacob I love, but Esau you I hated. You don't even know what that means. So you take that one principle and you think that so our focus is to be on the lookout of an Edomite. Everywhere we go, we just got to watch out for the Edomites. And then y'all are so, with that little bit of knowledge, you think that you actually know what an Edomite looks like. But you couldn't even tell me about a Moabite. You know why? It's because your baby mama probably a Moabite. Yeah, nigga, your pastor's wife is probably a Moabite. Your auntie probably a Moabite. You talk about whipping the witchcraft in the kitchen. What you talk about? Rebecca had the attitude of a Moabite. She wanted to bewitch her husband, Isaac, who was blind, and she used her son Jacob to do it so that he could get the birthright. That's just like Eve, who the serpent used to trick Adam out his birthright, and now all the dumbass is thrown out of the garden and given to the rest of the enterprise of the Intergalactic Confederation. Joe green ass. Yeah. It run that deep. Y'all so ignorant. You think it's just gonna be that black and white? You think this thing is black and white? Black and white. This look like a black and white situation? It's niggas running down the street with black and white flags? It's a rainbow flag in their hands. That's a rainbow flag in their hands, Holmes. It means there's many angles and levels to this thing. It ain't black and white. Your TV ain't black and white. Come on, man. Like, just make sense of this. When you go to Regal's Theater, the symbol ain't black and white. We don't see black and white nothing. That's too easy. You think it's just that easy, huh? Come on now, make sense of this. Make sense of this. You think the white people really running the show? You niggas green, man. You niggas green. That's probably the ones who got you. Your own green people. And that's what I want to put in there. See, cousins. This is my last point. Cousins. Pay attention to your cousins. Pay attention to your cousins, Holmes. Go read the books of your cousins. The books that they took out the Bible are the books that focus on your cousins. Go do your roots. Do your homework. And if you're going to read the Bible, read it for yourself. Stop listening to T.D. Jakes. Don't get me wrong. The man may love God. That's fine and dandy, but he can't help you in this situation. This niggas is for daycare. That nigga's a daycare. He's a daycare provider, man. This ain't daycare around here. This nigga's a daycare provider. He's the nigga that just gets everybody jumping around with toys and stuff. Tickles and giggles. We not in a tickle and giggle situation, Holmes. You at odd killing your cousins because you don't realize they're your cousins. And ignoring where the conflict stem from, it's not going to help you resolve the conflict. That sounds stupid. So when everybody tells us not to talk about the history, that's because the niggas ops. The same people that's telling you, don't worry about it, Jesus is black. Details matter. Listen to God. Because if details didn't matter, God wouldn't be big on details. Just don't think stupid. Know your roots. Niggas around here tripping, man. It's the same people killing the same people. You don't realize it. You don't even know it. Y'all the Israelites killing the Moabites in your neighborhood all the time. The same niggas that was drug dealers 3,000 years ago are the same drug dealers today. The same niggas doing, the same girls doing the witchcraft in the kitchen is the same girls doing the witchcraft in the kitchen today. It's the same history. Only a little bit of history get critiqued in between because the majority of the people lack the knowledge of history. Let's look from an academic perspective, right? If we categorize knowledge, where do history sit at? What category? How do we classify history? History falls in the category of liberal arts. Liberal arts. Arts that are the means of liberating a folk. That's called history. History is the means of liberating people. It is an art. Why do you think it's the art that is distorted the most? Because it is the art of liberation. So if I lie to you about your history and I keep your history away from you, you bound to repeat the thing that keeps you bound. Because it is an art of liberation. So it's the keys, in other words. I'm just going to keep your keys of freedom. Because if you don't know your past, you will not understand your present in order to determine your future. You don't know you're a slave because you don't know what slavery looks like. You only know it according to what they show you. So you think because you're not walking around in chains that you're not a slave, because that's how they define slavery. Not knowing these phones we had these phones 10,000 years ago. Look at the show Jetsons. Not knowing these spaceships they talk about are not compared to the spaceships that we had 100,000 years ago. Because your history and your books are taken away from you. It's not that this information don't exist. It does exist. You just don't know that it exists. You just don't have access to these archives. And these archives are everywhere. From Google to the museums. That's how they play with you so much. They got you under a spell that they make it seem like a joke to clear up their conscience. We not hiding from them. It's in front of their face. You are hiding because you got them under a spell. That's why you're able to put it in front of their face. But you don't know that. You don't know it. They treat you like a slime. What you do with a snake that you want to entertain? Put him in some water. Put him either in a desert or put him in some water on his stomach and play music. The drugs do two things. Make you feel like you're in water or make you feel like you're in desert. Either way, you're going to groove to it on your stomach if I play some music. So they treat you like a snake. They put something in your stomach and then they put something in your ear and they keep you dancing throughout the whole process. But you don't hear me though. That's why you stuck. They got you under a spell. They got you under a spell. And then so when you be trying to pray your way out, they got you so tired. So you present an abomination before God. You don't recognize you so tired because of more lack of knowledge. You think a soul ties is about having sex, right? The people that you spend the most time with, you're creating a soul tie with. There's dynamics of soul ties. You don't have to have no sexual attraction and no sexual intercourse with a person to be in a soul tie with them. But these soul ties can affect and impact your prayers, your destinies, your gifts. Some of your resources getting ate up by other people because your soul ties with them. That's why fasting, that's why praying is important. And you got to break your yoke. You can still love people and love them from a distance. You ain't got to be unequally yoked with a person. People are unequally yoked because you don't even know who you're around. The people that's bringing you in this world don't even know you. Niggas don't begin to care to know you. Some people think it's a burden to raise people. Let's be 100. It's time to wake up. This whole little game, mommy, daddy, and all this stuff getting over with, man. It's played out. Get into your bag by understanding yourself. Understanding why God has created you. Understand where you came from so you can understand where you're going. Learn to love God, then you will love people. And you can love people who are sick without becoming sick now. Not allowing them to intoxicate you to where you're driving off of the path that God has sent you on. Because what's going on and happening now is not it. History is repeating itself. Been doing this. Man, been doing this. You'll get into this book. You get into that Bible and start breaking the codes of these languages down. You'll see these cultures, they exist all around you. They exist. It's in the Bible. The Philistines, the Santeria people, that's Cuban Santeria. Santeria is Yoruba. It's the ephod. Ephod is also connected to the ephods they used to wear on their, oh my goodness. The traditions that Jesus was talking about, these people kept. Come on. Oh, we not African. You're not African. Where do you think that y'all came from before you? And what tribes do you think that were brought over here? Oh my goodness. What tribes do you think that were brought over here? So they want to keep the people at odds so that you won't understand that y'all are all pawns being used. Like the people didn't get it during that time. So you're not going to get it this time? You gonna choose not to get it this time? Jesus came so that you can get it this time. There's no excuse. No excuse whatsoever. None whatsoever. No excuse. So yeah, I had to break y'all off with this sauce. I just had to. I ain't gonna hold you. I had to break you off with that sauce. I was looking at him like, man, I gotta share this one. And so when you go through the whole entire chapter, you're gonna notice that all the names are connected to the message. You know, I took verse 6 and I created a whole new platform, whole new focus, right? Because it's an important focus. And you can do that with so many. You'll be able to go down verse 8, and then you can go somewhere into another scripture, and then into another text. And be like, wow. And then guess what? You will be able to see what's happening around you today. And that's what makes it so powerful. Without this knowledge, you'll be unaware of what is transpiring around you at this moment. So some of the things that you do see are important to know, so it can expand, and many of it is so that it can cease. Because also inside the scriptural text, it gives you the solution to resolving certain conflicts that are reoccurring. So in order for some things to have no occurrence, you must know what's occurring, and you must know how to solve the conflict. So I leave you guys with the peace. Whoever chooses to receive it, the peace of the Lord. You receive the peace of the Lord by accepting Yeshua HaMashiach is Lord and Savior and the King of Kings. I leave that peace with you. This peace will give you a tranquility that surpasses all knowledge and understanding.